6 months into my marriage, I learned something nobody ever warns you about. Being underestimated doesn't always look like insults or open disrespect. Sometimes it shows up as a smile that lingers a second too long. Sometimes it sounds like someone saying relax you wouldn't understand and meaning it. And sometimes it locks you in a place you designed yourself convinced you're powerless to get out. Yeah, that part still makes people stop and rewind. Back then, I was the quiet one. The guy people described as nice, which we all know is code for harmless. I designed houses for a living, custom builds, smart layouts, hidden redundancies, things no one notices until they need them. But socially, I wasn't the loudest voice in the room. I didn't dominate conversations. I listened. And apparently that made people think I could be controlled. My wife Claire used to say she loved that about me. Said I was stable, predictable, safe. Her sister Dana said it differently. She'd laugh and call me the background guy like I was furniture that happened to talk. At family dinners, she'd interrupt me mid-sentence, finish my thoughts incorrectly, then smirk when I went quiet. Claire never stopped her. She'd squeeze my knee under the table like that was enough. I told myself it was harmless. Just personality differences. You know how people rationalize things they don't want to confront. The house was my project. Not just our home, but my passion. I'd spent years refining the design. Open spaces where you expect them, closed circuits where you don't. I handled the plans myself, revised them late at night thinking about airflow, sound travel contingencies. Claire joked that I loved the house more than her. Dana joked that if anything ever went wrong, we could probably survive an apocalypse down there. Everyone laughed. I should have paid more attention to that joke. The shift didn't happen overnight. It crept in. Claire started questioning small things. My decisions, my memory. Are you sure that's what you said? That's not how I remember it. Dana backed her up every time. 2 voices against 1 has a way of making you doubt your own footing. They framed it like concern, like they were helping me see my flaws. I started apologizing for things I wasn't sure I'd done. One Friday night it boiled over. We argued about something stupid, a delivery mix-up, I think. Claire accused me of messing it up. Dana chimed in sharp and amused, saying, "See, this is why you can't trust him with big things." Something in me snapped. Not explosively, quietly. I said I built this house. I know exactly how things work. Dana laughed. Claire rolled her eyes. And that was it. The moment they decided I needed to be taught a lesson. They asked me to check something in the basement. A breaker panel, they said. The lights were flickering. I went down, barefoot, annoyed, but calm. I heard the door close behind me. Then the lock. Then laughter. Actual laughter. Dana's voice floated down first. "Let's see how smart he really is." Claire didn't laugh at first. Then she did. Softer. Nervous. But she didn't unlock the door. At first I thought it was a joke. I knocked. I called out. "Okay, very funny." Minutes passed. My phone was upstairs. The basement was finished, but it was still a basement. Concrete, cool air. No windows at ground level. Panic tried to rise. I felt it press against my chest. But then something else cut through it. Clarity. I'd designed this space. I knew every inch of it. The hidden access panel behind the shelving unit. The secondary control system no one else knew about because I'd never mentioned it. Why would I? People don't ask about safety nets when they think you're weak. I sat down. Literally sat on the floor and laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was absurd. Upstairs, I could hear muffled voices. Dana saying I'd cool off. Claire saying he'll apologize. That's when the humiliation hit. Not fear, humiliation. They didn't just think I'd break, they expected it. I stood up and went to work. Slowly. Methodically. I moved the shelf, popped the panel, accessed the manual override. I didn't rush. I wanted my breathing steady. I wanted my hands calm. When I flipped the switch, the house responded exactly the way it was designed to. Internal locks disengaged. Silent alarms activated. And upstairs, something changed. The laughter stopped. I didn't come out right away. I listened. Footsteps. A sharp whisper. Claire's voice tight now. Why is the door unlocking? Dana snapping back. Did you do something? I waited another 10 seconds. Then I walked upstairs like nothing had happened. The look on their faces was something I'll never forget. Dana went pale. Claire looked like she'd seen a ghost. How did you? She started. I cut her off, calmly. I live here, I said, and I design for contingencies. Dana tried to recover first. She laughed fake and loud. Relax, it was just a joke. I looked at her and said, Jokes end when someone wants out. Silence. Real silence this time. Claire started crying, apologizing, saying she didn't mean it, that Dana had pushed it. Dana rolled her eyes, called her dramatic. That's when I realized something important. This wasn't a mistake, it was a pattern. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I told Dana to leave. She scoffed, said Claire would never choose me over her. Claire hesitated. That hurt more than the lock ever did. But then I said the words that changed everything. If you stay, you're choosing what just happened. Claire looked at me, really looked at me, and for the first time I think she saw that the version of me she thought she could control wasn't there anymore. Dana left furious, slamming doors, promising consequences. Claire stayed. The days after were heavy. Conversations that went nowhere. Apologies that felt incomplete. I slept lightly. Trust doesn't snap back into place just because someone says sorry. It rebuilds slowly, or it doesn't rebuild at all. Dana tried to spin the story. Told family I'd overreacted, that I'd trapped myself to make them look bad. People believed her at first, because confidence is persuasive. But details matter, and the truth has weight. When I explained calmly without drama, people started asking questions. The narrative cracked. Claire went to therapy. So did I. Together and separately. Some days we felt closer. Some days we felt like strangers sharing a space. But one thing was clear. I was no longer invisible. No longer the background guy, and Dana, she, never came back to the house. I still think about that basement sometimes. About how easily things could have gone differently if I'd believed their version of me. If I'd internalized their dismissal. Being underestimated is dangerous, but not in the way people think. It's dangerous because you might start underestimating yourself. So here's my question for you. If someone you loved crossed that line, would you walk away or would you try to rebuild? And where do you draw the line between forgiveness and self-respect? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. And if you've ever been dismissed, overlooked, or quietly pushed aside, remember this. Just because someone doesn't see your strength doesn't mean it isn't there. Sometimes it's waiting for the moment it's needed most.